Time Watchers Post. I'm Minister Susan Mayu. Thank you for visiting my channel today. The topic of today's video is the economic downturn in the U.S. Banks and stores and restaurants are closing. The article that I was looking at is the bank branch closures in the U.S. to hit 1,300 by the end of this year. The names of the bank companies are more than Capital One. That's just a local picture that I picked up. American Bank of America, Bank of Brenham, Capital One, Citibank, Citizen Bank. These are all companies. They may have several banks that are closing within them. Community Bank, Farmers Bank of, look like Nebraska, Fifth Third Bank, First National Bank, First Republic Bank, Fulton Bank, Huntington Bank, Key Bank, Landmark National Bank, Legacy National Bank, Pikes Peak National Bank, PNC Bank, TD Bank, Terra Bank, National Bank, Trust Bank, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, and Wood Forest National Bank. I also need to clarify that the companies are not completely going bankrupt. It's just a few of their locations that are closing down. Major restaurant chains as well that have closed down locations across the U.S. in 2024. And the reason given is a mixture of underperformance issues, financial pressure from inflation, changing consumer trends, basically the public no longer eating out to save money, and overall cost-cutting objectives have all contributed to the recent wave of location closures across several restaurant chains in 2024. A few of the Cracker Barrel locations, some of Applebee's locations, TGI Friday, Denny's, Boston Market, Red Lobster, Mod Pizza, PDQ, Outback Steakhouse, and Hardee's. And we also have 14 major retail stores closing or will close in 2024. And once again, it's some of their locations, not all of their stores. And they're putting the blame on economic pressure, changing consumer habits, and the rise of e-commerce has forced these companies to reevaluate their strategies. Some of these locations are closing and others are relocating. Some of these closures are Walmart locations, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Rite Aid stores, Macy's, Neiman Marcus, Best Buy, Victoria's Secret, Gap, Kmart, Pier 1 Imports, Party City, Forever 21, The Body Shop, and some locations of Walgreens. There are several reasons for the bank, restaurant, and retail store closures. Every few years we have an economic downturn. You remember in 2008 we had the banks, the too big to fail, where they bailed out the banks. In 1979, 1980 we had the Great Recession, and in 1929, that was a really bad one, that was the Great Depression. The reason some businesses have given for the closing of the stores is number one, theft, and number two is inflation, and that's the main thing, causing people to stop buying extras like electronics, eating out like restaurants, shopping for clothing. They've cut back on shopping in general. It turns into a vicious cycle. So electronic stores start closing from lack of business, then the restaurants start closing from lack of business, and then the retail stores start closing because they can no longer afford to operate. Then finally, the banks start closing because the people can't afford their home loans anymore. And number three, one of the newest causes of inflation, the BRICS nations shutting down the petrodollar. Any one of these reasons is enough to cause a great recession, but all of them together is a perfect economic storm. And it looks like some of it may have been planned. The globalist bankers of the G7 need a way to control the public. So they want to take away our dollar and give us a new CBDC, which is a central bank digital currency. The danger in a digital currency was demonstrated a few years ago back in Canada. There was a truck protest that was growing, and the government there wanted to stop it. So they erased all of the truckers' money in their bank accounts so that they had no money to pay their truck notes or gas or food or anything on the road. Then the bank sent in people to repo their trucks. Digital currency was used to control the public. What they want to end up with is what the Bible calls the mark of the beast, where you cannot buy, sell, or trade without it. The CBDC is not the mark of the beast as of yet, but if it ever becomes it, or another like it becomes it, these are the verses that will help you understand the description of it. Revelations chapter 13, verses 11 and then 15 through 18. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke as a dragon. So this is not the 7th empire, it's the 8th empire, which is the beast from the earth and not the beast from the sea. It also has the dragon in charge of it, so keep an eye on China. Even though the Bible says that the dragon is the devil, there's no doubt that the devil would be in charge of a nation that persecutes Christians, so he may be in charge of it. Now verses 15 through 18. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Verse 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, y'all, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is 60, and 6. 666. There you go. Mark of the beast. And these are the verses here that give a warning directly from God that if anybody receives this mark of this beast empire, that they will end up in hell for eternity. In chapter 14, verse 9, the 3rd angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in their forehead or in his hand. In verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascend up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. You cannot even receive this mark. There's no way out. If you ever receive it, there's no way out of hell for eternity. In verse 12, finally, we see, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Are you ready for Jesus' return? Are you saved?